Hey everyone, I'm Aniva from the KidsCo team. Today we're sitting down with KidsCo co-founders Laynton and Adrian. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. So it's been 3 long eventful years since KidsCo pitched to the sharks on Australian Shark Tank. And today we'll be taking a stroll down memory lane and just watching some highlights of your pitch on Shark Tank. And we'll just let everyone know where KidsCo is now. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's take a trip down memory lane. This will be fun.
Laynton and Adrian. They're rolling out a solution for frazzled working parents.
A little bit of nerves, but I'm just ready to wrestle a shark.
Did we plan this that we were going to run into them? Or did this just, was this an overpush?
That was your genius.
Oh my God.
Remember I almost took out the camera there?
Yes.
G'day Sharks, my name's
I'll tell you what, we
Allan.
look about
I'm
20 years younger.
from Melbourne,
There's no
Victoria.
3 years
And
of
I'm
age
Adrian
stuff.
Rokman, 30 years old, also
I
from
think
Melbourne.
our own full-time
And
kids will
we
do
are the
that.
co-founders of
Yeah.
childcare and education company, KidsCo Australia.
Hey, Late, which one's
Sharks,
rich
today we
out
are
of
here to seek
Naomi and Jeanette?
$375k investment for a 15% stake in the total business of KidsCo Australia. Kids in the school holidays.
Mate, do you remember rehearsing this in the hotel room the night
You guys will be able
before?
to testify to this.
Yeah.
Those key numbers, those facts.
Lucky enough to still have them.
I was up at like 4 a.m. even before that, like 3 o'clock in the morning,
is, and this is a growing trend,
practicing
really
these
quite
these
bring them
numbers.
to work, throw them under the
We
got to
knew our
practice the name.
numbers.
in front of them,
We
and
knew
rich
all the
experience for
info.
me. No judgment.
Janine's done well since. Survivor
Number 3,
Queen.
which is to take
And
unpaid
a
leave.
princess.
And we believe we are here with an innovative and ultimately convenient solution. We run school holiday programs in the workplace. We welcome your questions and hope to have
I
you
actually
on board
remember
to
being,
help
it was
us
just
change
a
the
lot of
lives
fun
of
at this
as many
moment, having
Australian
the chat.
working
And it's
families.
funny, you know, I remember on air, I think the whole episode's
That's
about
fantastic,
15
Laynton and
minutes.
Adrian. It's $375,000 for 15%.
the actual
Now, we
filming
know
was
each
like
other,
the
don't we?
longest we've
We
ever
do.
had, I think. It was like an hour or something we're in
You
the
operate
tank.
a holiday
Yeah,
program,
totally.
co-working space in Brisbane.
So I remember this moment where Steve kind of connected us. It was a massive nerve calmer.
So I'd like
Yeah.
to clarify, typically the
Janine
age
took the
range
role
for
of
these
being
kids is
the hard ass.
School age,
Yeah.
5 to 12.
5 to 12. I think it's time.
And this was at about 6 in the
Otherwise, the
morning, I
sharks
think.
will just
It
devour
was,
you.
it was
Just
not
be blood on the
night
water.
time.
Ah, that's right.
They picked us up at like, I remember
Thanks, Naomi.
that.
Thanks for
That
the
was great.
feedback.
Janine. That's Janine.
Remember the poor lady that was going on before us had the issue with her skirt in the morning? Her skirt,
Oh, that's
before she was
right.
about to go on air.
I remember
Shark
watching
left.
Glenn in the corner, just thinking the whole way through. He didn't know where to go.
Could really help us.
He wanted in.
That moment right there where I looked up at the sky, I remember going, we haven't got an offer here, before he said this, and just being like really comfortable with the fact that we've
Yeah.
done it, we haven't butchered it, but then he said this and it was like, whoa,
5,000 is what you
Yeah.
want.
we're on.
I see the risk.
Fish is on the
I
hook.
want to be your partner because I've done a lot of the stuff that you've
We're gonna get it in the boat.
So I think I de-risk it. So we need to be equal. $375,000 for 33.3333%.
I remember that time, Ada, when he said we needed to be equal, my mind just went to, 50-50, he wants 50%. And then he said 33, and I was like,
1.26 million. What are you going to do?
And then we left the tank.
we have a
I remember
second to
that bit.
chat?
I will never forget
Yeah.
that bit,
Thanks,
walking
guys.
out of that room.
did the doors close so they couldn't see us doing this?
Yeah, the doors
Systems
closed.
and procedures in place. He's in this space already. We're gonna have to.
And we couldn't hear a word they were saying. We had no idea they were debating us
Glenn,
to
firstly,
offer
thank
in
you so
there
much
until it
for
came
your
to
offer.
it went on air.
We'd like to put in a counter offer
I knew.
of 25% for, you guessed it, of 25%. However, we're gonna get this
Andrew
part
loved the
with
negotiation
a
as well.
5% that
So
will
did Janine,
vest
yeah.
in 2021 if we have not hit that target and repaid the cash in full.
Creative.
Nice.
I like it.
We back what we do.
So basically 25% now and another 5% kicker if they don't meet their goals by 2021. So you
It's
get to
actually so
30%
much
or
fun watching
33
this and looking back at the memories and how much has
Yeah, I don't
happened
like
in
that.
3 short years or long years.
Throw me
What were you
something else.
thinking where he said, I don't like that then? Because I just made this up out of nowhere. What were
Yeah,
you thinking when you said
you came in so fast with that, and I thought that was a great one. It was hilarious. I would never have come up with that. I love that moment. That was probably one of the highlights, was you just coming back super duper fast.
Time's money.
But you're in negotiation mode. You love that. That was your moment to shine. I think it was great.
Have a hug, maybe have a beer.
Except for when I said $300.
Yeah.
$300,000.
And I'm pretty sure from memory this went on for a good 10-15 minutes.
Absolutely.
Back and forth. Yeah, it wasn't as quick as they've made it out to be.
Yeah.
And the pressure, I remember Janine arguing with us about it. It was it was a hot 10 minutes.
Correct.
Okay, what are you going to do, Glenn?
Did you think we had him at this point?
Jump on board.
I don't remember. I just remember feeling very confident and comfortable, like, regardless, we've done a good job.
Find a friend?
No, make up your mind.
Yeah, and then you almost took him out.
He took like 3 steps back.
I remember Andrew being a lot taller than I expected as well.
Great presentation.
Thank you, mate.
Well done,
And then our ring around the rosy.
Mate, I remember the ring around the rosy. You thinking that was going to look so bad on TV. It was actually okay. Like a little dance at the end where we went round and round in circles, but on TV it came out okay, because I think we almost took out the cameraman. But we've never done a ring a rosy together on any celebration. But for the moment on TV, we thought we'd go for it.
That's so nice to look back at. I still can't get over how much younger we look.
I know. Do you remember the juice diet beforehand, and then the massive feasting that we had afterwards?
Yeah, that was that celebration. I think we were in shock for the next hour afterwards. I remember when they escorted us off the set, and then we had to jump in a car to get driven back to the hotel.
That's right.
And I don't think we spoke a word the entire time to either of each other. We were just in complete shock with what had just happened.
That's right. I've actually got a photo of that where we're in shock. It was it was like such a positive shock, and we walked around because it was filmed at Fox Studios, wasn't it, in Sydney?
Yeah.
Next to the SCG. But I remember, mate, Endemol Shine gave us like a cab card. And we're just so happy that we gave the cab driver like a $50 tip on Endemol Shine. He was stoked. We were stoked. It was great memories. This is fun to do.
Great. That's so much fun to look at. I haven't watched that in so long. And it's funny, like, you know, we get known in a lot of cases as the Shark Tank guys, but it's really grown to so much more than that. Even, I mean, pre-COVID, but back then, what did we have? Like nine companies that were on board?
Yeah.
About that. And today
the key ones are still with us too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, majority is still with us, I think, probably out of all those founding partners. And then today, to look back, 3 years, and now it's over 70 leading workplaces or employers of choice that have KidsCo running with their business, supporting their working parents and really changing the game. And I think that's the best part of it all. It's funny when we look back at clips that get posted on YouTube or Facebook and stuff, and people are saying, oh, well, this would be long gone. These guys would be out of business out of COVID. Fun fact for everyone out there, we pivoted during COVID and launched a virtual care offering. And that really took off to support working families. It enabled us to go overseas and expand borders. So we now have operations in Hong Kong, Singapore, the UK, New Zealand, US is on the cards. But at the end of the day, the mission is still the same, and that's to ban boring, help parents and children balance the scales between work life and family life, and support organizations that want to be that leading employer of choice and who actually care about their employees. And imagine like what we've done in 3 years, imagine what's going to happen in the next 3 years. That's the bit I'm most excited for.
Have you got a best moment since then? Like obviously Shark Tank went live. For a bit of context, I was in hospital with my wife, just about to have our first baby. And up on the little TV screen that you get in hospital, the ad come on. And of course, my phone went nuts. And the first person I spoke to was Ada. And I remember being just like so confused. I couldn't process it because the ad was all around entrepreneurs should never make this mistake. And it was me calling Janine Naomi. Yeah, I got that right. I still struggle with it. But I remember just like trying to give my attention back to my wife and newborn. But then I've also got Ada on the other line being like, mate, what do you reckon? But essentially it was such a great pitch, and they showed us, I think they aired a fair light, or they edited a fair light of what it was in the tank for the hour to an hour and a half. But the ad, I remember the week leading up to the actual episode airing going, oh God, what have they done? Like, have they edited us to look like absolute melon heads?
Yeah.
But I think it was a fair representation of how the pitch went. But that week when Shark Tank aired, we had so much media. We had wars between Channel 10 and Channel 9, who was going to get exclusivity to pitch us. And of course, we stuck with Channel 10, but then Channel 9 pulled a Swiftie and got us in to present on the news desk like 2 hours before the project did it at 6 o'clock. So we're on like the 4 o'clock news. So it was just an absolute moment of mayhem, but positive mayhem that, for the next week or so, we had 128 inquiries in 12 hours. In the 12 months leading into that, I think we had about 14. So we we put a massive multiple on incoming inquiries. But I want to ask you the question, unscripted or unprompted here. Have you got a favourite moment since Shark Tank aired to where we are today? Just like if you had to pick one amongst all of them.
Good question, Wade. I would say my favourite moment since Shark Tank would have to be the Oz Open. The fact that we created a world first to have a childcare offering at a major sporting event. And it was just such a unique experience. I mean, yes, we took care of, players' children, and we took care of employees of Tennis Australia's children, but being able to offer it to the public where the children could get behind the scenes of the Australian Open and meet players like Federer and Nadal and watch them train and have VIP access to all areas, that's a real money can't buy experience that is so unique for the kids. And that is probably my number one highlight then. So then to do it the next year following again, I think that's probably my number one. What about you?
Mine's probably more of a micro moment. And it was we've had quite a few, but the one particularly I was involved with was, I won't use the young lad's name, but it was a boy with autism who had never been 8 hours in a program before. And just to get the call from mum at the end of the day crying that, ex-boy had the time of his life and he wanted to come back, and she wasn't being, badgered by teachers saying, come and pick him up. And, we really made him, for that particular day, the hero. We had a policeman come in and do a little bit of talk about public safety, and he put him in handcuffs, and then he broke out of the handcuffs, and he just felt like an absolute hero. And that's one moment amongst many. But for me, that's probably the most heartwarming, gratifying moment of doing everything that we do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
What about, what surprised you the most, mate? We've obviously both aged 15 years in the last 4. There's a lot of long hours and hard work that's gone into it. All both agree, totally worthwhile. But what surprised you the most over the last 4 years, or what's challenged you the most?
That's a good question. I think COVID was probably the biggest challenge. But I think due to our team, we navigated that so quickly and seamlessly that it was a challenge. Of all businesses, how many businesses have disappeared or will disappear because of COVID, especially in this industry? But we all stuck together, thought outside the box. People required our services or care for their children more than ever. And we are that silent hero that were able to deliver that. And again, it's like you were just speaking of before, those those silent hero moments when a parent calls up and says, thank you so much. And that's the stuff that no one really gets to see, but that's what I think keeps us and our entire team going and full of energy, are these little comments, calls, emails, social media comments of people just saying, thank you. You made my life that little bit easier. And that's the whole purpose. We're here to balance the scales and make parents have a little bit less stress in the holidays and every child have the best day ever.
I love that. You're so right. Those micro moments where someone might burst out of their room and say, or burst out of the office and say, I just got this happen from a parent. One that springs to mind is Officeworks, when we had hold-ups with Officeworks where we had to get a printer issue solved or whatever the issue was. But they said, oh, hang on, you're the guys from KidsCo. You're looking after my kids now. Let me push you through the queue. You guys are amazing. Keep through the queue. That's one that springs to mind. But you're right. It's those multiple micro moments that happen throughout the holidays on a daily basis. The lady that rang Tamsin and sung her a song. She made her a song about how grateful she was. That's the fuel that keeps us going. Hey, to do the long hours and putting in as a team to execute, bring the programs to life. It's the fuel that goes into the tank. If I answer the same question really authentically, it's probably, I remember times when we do the modelling and we're going to be at this many companies and it's going to impact this many kids and we're going to need this many teachers. Whilst we've grown really rapidly and expanded internationally, which you talked about, it's probably the fact that you get many pats on the back and people think it's the most amazing thing, but sometimes corporates have so much bureaucracy that they struggle to actually get it through and bring it to life. I guess it's just a business learning. From the start, we had all these spreadsheets and going, this is going to be wonderful and the impact's going to work like this. And we've done that, but it's probably required a lot more churn and burn to actually get there. So that's interesting. And then, second thing, everything you've said about the team and the people and bringing it to life.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder than it looks. And it's never as easy as, hey, yeah, we want a holiday program in the workplace and away we go. I mean, it's all the compliance, safety that goes on behind the scenes that we really make it that seamless experience for the corporate. But yeah, 100%, it's a steep mountain to climb every single time.
I've got one last question for you. So we're 4 years in now, 2017, 2021, 4 years in. We're probably roughly where we expected we'd be. Some things have happened that have kind of pushed us beyond where that expectations were. But we've got a plan for the next 5 years. In that plan, which single thing are you most excited about?
That's a very easy answer, and that is the KidsCo Foundation. Coming from a single parent family, and where school holidays were always the worst time for me. Back in those days, there weren't any iPads to get thrown under the desk at mum's work. It was, here's some pencils and paper and create your own fun. That was my mission to ban boring, and witnessing firsthand how guilty my mum felt during those times, because that was the time dedicated to spending time as a family, and she wasn't able to because she was the only breadwinner for our family. So the fact that we're going to create a foundation to support children like that, amongst many other scenarios as well, but that's definitely my highlight. That's that give back moment. And yes, we have a super impactful business that we can get out of bed every day feeling good about what we do and knowing that we have an impact and are leaving a mark for the greater good. But I think being able to complement that and add to that by bringing experiences to children who may not be able to experience those experiences, that's that moment I just can't wait to experience. A lot of experience, but it's going to be a special one.
Totally. Well, this has been an experience watching our Shark Tank pitch for the first time in a long time. For anybody that's watching, thank you who's followed us along the journey. To those who thought we were shut down, we're pleased to say we're not. We're still here and we're going well, impacting families. We're about to expand into before and after school care in Australia. So our world-class programs will be on offer, not just in school holiday periods, but 365 days a year in select schools around the country. And it's just been an absolute journey. We're obviously a bigger team now, got over 300 school teachers that work with us. Yeah, we're only just getting started. So thanks for all your support and those who have followed. And we hope to see you or your kids or your grandkids or whoever it might be at some point over the next X years.